When a federal agent is exposed to a specially designed virus that begins to modify his genetic code, he must decide whether or not to save or destroy this new discovery that has the potential to benefit humanity but at a devastating cost. In Upgrade, that's the book I'm reviewing on this episode of SFF 180. Hello again, everyone. Thomas here, your host as always. Thank you so much for joining me. I am recording once again from the serenity of Southern Oregon while I'm on vacation. So Blake Crouch likes to ground his science fiction action thrillers in moral themes, which, to be fair, are pretty simplistic, but that's the idea. Get readers thinking about big picture issues that aren't too challenging while keeping them hooked with nail-biting suspense and kinetic storytelling. With Upgrade, following a steady run of bestsellers including Dark Matter and Recursion, Crouch has delivered his version of a superhero story and the theme of great power requiring great responsibility. Now, I think we can all say that one has been field-tested pretty thoroughly. But in Crouch's capable hands, it is a smashing piece of entertainment, even if the moral dilemma it offers isn't much more than a variation of the trolley problem. Should you be willing to kill up to 1 billion people to save all the others, even when the stakes are the survival of human civilization itself? And does anyone have the right to make life or death choices for entire populations simply because they have the power to do so? It's the near future. Climate change has left us with the predicted food shortages, and large swathes of Florida and New York City are underwater. Logan Ramsey is the son of disgraced geneticist Miriam Ramsey, whose attempts to modify rice plants in China to make them resistant to viral infection backfired horribly, leading to a global famine that killed 200 million people. Miriam took her own life, and Logan spent several years in prison for his participation in the project. Now, years later, Logan is, or at least he believes, he is paying his debt to society by working as an agent for the Gene Protection Agency, helping to bust illicit gene editing labs around the U.S. Now, during a raid on a suburban Denver home suspected of housing such a lab, Logan is injured by an IED that exposes him to a virus that begins modifying him at the genetic level. His reading speed is dramatically increased, he has perfect memory recall of events in life going back decades, and he can even beat his unbeatable daughter at chess. Soon enough, he experiences even more profound effects, such as an ability to slow his perception of time, even his heart rate, or to anticipate a person's thoughts or actions through observing small physiological changes. He is quite simply becoming superhuman. But who would have done this and why? The answer comes when Logan is, quite unexpectedly, reunited with his estranged sister Kara, who left her family behind for a military career. Kara breaks Logan out of containment, and they hit the road searching for answers. Now, when they discover just how far-reaching this virus is meant to be, well, let's just say everyone's trouble has only started. Now, as with his other novels, Crouch swings for the fences with a lot of propulsive action and suspense. I'm happy to report he's veering away from some of his James Patterson-influenced stylistic quirks. There aren't nearly so many passages in Upgrade that are just a string of single-sentence paragraphs. And also, it's a book that improves as it goes. Early chapters leave a lot of gaps that raise plot logic questions, but the second half is tighter and more consistent, with some really good character moments between Logan and Kara. Crouch is working in Michael Crichton's turf, and Upgrade presents a gene science scenario that is probably no more or less believable than Jurassic Park. And he absolutely knows his way around an action scene. The story's finale, involving a raid on a partially sunken skyscraper in Lower Manhattan, is one hell of a set piece. I mentioned the moral dilemma of the story, and while it may be too familiar, I liked Crouch's solution and the arguments behind it. I don't know if Crouch intended Upgrade to be a repudiation of the John W. Campbell ethos, where the cold equations are what they are and the heartlessly rational universe cares nothing for our human foibles. But what good is a physically upgraded humanity if we just become better, stronger versions of the messed up meat sacks we already are? Crouch skillfully leaves Upgrade on an optimistic note. with a poignant observation about the need for empathy that manages to avoid mawkish sentiment. There are a lot of different ways the human race can be better, but if we want to have a future, well, we should upgrade the ones that really will bring us together. And there you have it. That's all I got time for in this episode of SFF 180. Remember, the most important thing, these are reviews. You are not going to always agree with me, but if you enjoyed watching, please hit that like button, share the video far and wide with all of your SFF reading friends, and above all, please subscribe if you have not done so. That is how the channel grows. You can also support the channel at my TeePublic store and at my Patreon, where recruits into Wink's Army get little perks like, early access to some of my videos. I want to thank all of those people for their added support. I use the Patreon money to pay Matt Olson, my extremely gifted, talented channel artist who does all of my awesome thumbnails for me. So once again, thanks so much for that. I want to thank all the rest of you guys for being the very best viewers in all of BookTube. And until I see all of you next time, from wherever I end up recording next, stay safe and healthy, and happy reading.